In 300 years of Ottoman history, no sultan had taken a legal wife from the harem. The rule was not written anywhere. It did not need to be. Some things are so fixed that the absence of writing is itself the document. Suleiman broke it on a Tuesday in June 1534 in a ceremony attended by the Grand Vizier Ibrahim Pasha, the chief harem eunuch, and a poet. There was music, there were witnesses. There was a contract written in Ottoman script on paper made in Cairo. You were 16 when they took you from Rohatyn. You are 29 now. The news travels the way all news travels in Topkapı, not through doors but around them, through the gaps in walls where women pass fabric back and forth, through the particular silence that falls in a room when someone has just left it. You hear it first from Fatma, who is 22 and has been in the harem since she was 14. She says it the way she says everything that frightens her, very quickly, as if speed makes it less real. The Sultan is preparing a nikah contract. You already knew. You knew 3 weeks ago, when the chief eunuch Sümbül Ağa came to your room at an hour he had never come before. He spoke to you for a long time about protocol, about the order of the ceremony, about what you would be required to say and in what language. You sat and listened and said yes at the right moments, and after he left, you sat for a long time with your hands in your lap looking at nothing. A nikah contract is a legal marriage under Islamic law. It requires a mahr, a dower, a payment made to the bride and belonging to her alone. It requires witnesses. It requires the bride to consent aloud 3 times before the contract is binding. It creates a legal status that did not exist for a woman taken from Rohatyn in 1520 and sold in Kefe for 45 akçe. Renamed in a room of blue tiles by a woman who did not look up from her pen. You have been Haseki for 4 years. You have given him 5 children, 4 living. You have learned to read and write in Ottoman, in Arabic, in the Persian of the poets he loves. You have learned that the correct word for the blue tiles is chini and that they are made in Iznik. You know this city the way you once knew Rohatyn, the names behind the walls, which corridors carry sound, which gardens catch the light. You are not a slave anymore in the ways that matter in a room, but on paper, in the sigil registers of Constantinople, you are still what you were when the boat left Kefe. That paper is what Tuesday will change. You cannot sleep. You get up. The room is the room you have had for 2 years, larger than the first room you had in the harem. A window that looks east toward the Bosphorus, a floor of stone that stays cool even in summer. On the table there is a lamp with oil still burning. On the shelf there are 17 books. You counted them this morning without meaning to, the way you count everything. The way your mother taught you to count your blessings, because counting is something you can do when nothing else is in your control. Your mother has been dead for 4 years. You received the news through a letter that came from a merchant in Lviv who had it from a priest in Rohatyn, 3 years after it happened. You read it 3 times before you understood it, and then you sat with it in your hands for a long time and did not tell anyone what was in it. She never knew what happened to you. Not that she died, but that she died not knowing. You go to the window. The Bosphorus at night is a darkness moving. Across it, the lights of the Asian shore are too far to count individually, so you count the clusters. 6 distinct groupings of light, each one a neighborhood, each one 10,000 people living their lives in a direction you have never traveled. You have not left this city since the boat arrived in 1520. You think about the nikah contract. You think about the word mahr. The mahr will be a sum that makes you a legal creditor of the Ottoman state. If he dies before you, you can claim it. If he dismisses you, you can claim it. It is money that exists because you said yes 3 times in front of witnesses. It is yours in a way that nothing before it has been yours since the bucket your father mended with wire. You think about Mahidevran. Mahidevran Sultan has been the first Kadın for longer than you have been in this palace. She has given him a son, Mustafa, who is 17 years old and who everyone in the empire expects to be the next sultan. She is Circassian, and she has hated you with a patience and a precision that you have come to understand as a form of respect. She will not come to the ceremony. She will be in her own room and she will receive the news and she will not speak for a day. And then she will speak, carefully, and her words will be the beginning of something that will take years to resolve. You count the lights on the Asian shore again. Still 6 clusters. The Bosphorus does not change. The floor is marble. The walls are hung with fabric the color of deep water. The light comes from a lamp set low, which makes the room feel like something enclosed, like the inside of a ship. Ibrahim Pasha is there. He is the Grand Vizier, Suleiman's closest friend for 20 years. He is standing with his hands behind his back, and his face is the face he wears when he is thinking hard about something he has already decided. He does not believe this is a good idea. He has not said this. He will not say this. There is a poet, Figani, who has been asked to compose something for the occasion. He is a small man with ink on his right hand, and the expression of a person who has been given an assignment he is not sure how to complete. You do not know it yet, but in 3 years, Figani will be executed for a couplet he wrote, comparing Ibrahim Pasha's rise to Alexander's conquests. You do not know this. You see a man with ink on his hand and the careful eyes of someone counting the room. The imam arrives. He is perhaps 60, with a beard that has gone entirely white. He carries the contract, which is written on a single piece of paper that he holds as if it might change. Suleiman comes in through the door to your left. You have looked at this man for 14 years. You know the particular weight he places on his left foot when he is tired, the way his voice drops when he is about to say something that will not be discussed. He is 40 years old. He has ruled the Ottoman Empire since he was 26. He has taken Belgrade, taken Rhodes, taken most of Hungary. His chancellery is currently corresponding with Francois I of France about coordinating pressure on the Habsburgs from 2 directions simultaneously. He collects astronomical instruments and Persian poetry. He looks at you the way you looked at the tiles when you first arrived, something trying to understand something it had not seen before. The imam begins. The Ottoman moves over you the way it always does now, not as translation, but as thought. You no longer hear it and search for meaning behind it. The meaning is in the words themselves. This took 7 years. The imam asks if you consent. The room is very quiet. The marble floor is cold through the fabric of your slippers. The lamp nearest you gives off a smell of olive oil and something else, something slightly bitter, that you have never identified in 14 years. You say yes. He asks again. You say yes. He asks a third time. You say yes. The imam writes something at the bottom of the contract. Ibrahim Pasha leans forward and signs his name as witness. The second witness signs. The third. The fourth. It is done. The paper exists. The sigil register at the Qadar's office will be updated before the week is out. In the property records and the legal registers and the inheritance documents of the Ottoman Empire, you now have a name that is not a designation. You are Hürrem Sultan, wife of Suleiman Khan, 10th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, commander of the faithful, lord of the 2 lands and the 2 seas. The room is very quiet. Ibrahim Pasha says something formal and correct and moves to leave. The witnesses follow. The poet Figani glances at you once as he goes, quickly, with the expression of someone filing something away. The imam folds the contract and places it in a leather case and leaves without looking at anyone. Suleiman says something to you. It is something ordinary, something about the evening, something that does not mark the occasion. After a few minutes, he leaves too. You have new rooms. They are larger than your previous rooms, located in a section of the harem that has a garden view through a latticed window. The walls are covered in Iznik tiles, the same blue and white you first saw when you arrived in 1520, the same color as a winter sky. 3 women have been assigned to you who were not assigned to you this morning. They are standing when you arrive, in a line against the east wall, their hands folded, waiting. You count them. 3. You count the tiles on the nearest wall. You lose count at 40 and start again. The garden outside the latticed window is in the last light of the day. There is a fountain somewhere beyond the window that you can hear but not see. 2013, 11,000, 013, 18,000, the sound of water at the edge of hearing. You sit down on the cushioned seat beneath the window and you look at the garden. You think about the word the imam used, the 3rd time he asked. Your answer, given 3 times before witnesses, has changed what is written about you in the registers of this city. But the registers will not tell you what you are now. They will tell you what you are not. Not hafiye, not carrier, not the category of person who can be sold. The absence of a category is not the same as the presence of one. You think about Rohatyn. You think about the well and the bucket with the wire repair, the mud that dried late that April, and the sky that was the same pale blue as the sky above every city you have been carried through since. You think about your mother putting her hand over your mouth in the dark and telling you to count the icons on the wall until it was quiet. You counted to 47. The fountain outside the window is still moving. Somewhere in the palace, in a room with different tiles, Hürrem Sultan is sitting in her own silence. The empire is rearranging itself around a piece of paper signed by 4 witnesses. You do not know yet what the rearrangement will cost. You look at the Iznik tiles, blue and white, the color you did not have a word for. You have the word now. You have had it for years. You count the tiles again, starting from the left, and the fountain keeps moving in the garden. Somewhere to the west, the sun is going down over the same sky that was above Rohatyn the last ordinary morning. And the counting is something you do when nothing else is in your control. And you count, and the number tonight is 47. It is always 47.